Hello, this is Deborah Anderson, the BlkWmnAnimator, coming back to you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the Clubhouse app, but I'm going to tailor it for animation folks. The Clubhouse app is a drop-in audio app that's only available on Apple devices right now. It's kind of similar to the Party Line from back in the day. If you see an app for Android, it's not the same app. Don't get played. Everyone likes to make it seem like the only way to get on the Clubhouse app is to be sent an invite. And while that's one way to get on the app, you can also come through the side door. You can download the app, sign up, and depending on how extensive your network is, you can either be added immediately or it'll take maybe a week or two. But you can come and reserve your username depending on if you have a unique username. You might want to do the second option, come and reserve your username and then wait for somebody to let you in. But all in all, you do not have to be sent an invite. Try not to ask random people for an invite, because I think the only way to do that is to put in your phone number. So you might want to have a friend or a family member add you that way, because you don't want to give random people your personal information. Once you get on there, you won't know what the heck to do, but it's okay. We were all there at one point. I was there 1 week ago. Make sure to fill out your profile information as much as you can. I know when I first got on the app, I kept my information minimal just because of the murmurs I had heard before I got on the app, and I didn't know how powerful the app was. But try to fill out all your important information as soon as possible. You're going to want to add your Twitter and your Instagram, and for your profile, the first 3 lines, put your important stuff, but your profile bio can be as long as you want. I'm not sure if there's a limit, but when you are in the different rooms, the first 3 lines is what people see initially, and then people either have to click view profile or they can swipe down or up and they can see the rest of your profile. So you want to put a lot of the important information to kind of bait people in your first 3 lines of your profile. Again, make sure to put your social media information in there so that people can connect with you. There's currently no messaging system on Clubhouse, so the only way people can connect with you is if you've added your accounts for Twitter and Instagram. Follow people who you find interesting, and you'll get notifications about when those people are in different rooms and what the topic is. You can also follow different topics and different groups. If it is classified as a group, you'll have to wait for an admin to add you as a member. Otherwise, you'll just stay as a follower, whether they just don't add you into the group or if it's just a topic that hasn't become a group yet. In the comments below, please put interesting people to follow. I know that I've been in a room with Bruce W. Smith. I've been in a room with Carl Jones. So you can end up in the room with some pretty big industry people, and you can actually end up talking to them depending on how the moderator in the room is set up. I think the more you listen to rooms, the more invites you get. I know I've been in a situation where I had 2 invites and I used them up for a family member and a friend, and then I went to go listen to a room for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I got 2 extra invites. So I think the more you listen in your rooms, the more invites you get. I'm not really sure how it works, like the algorithm or whatever, but I think you don't just get the 1 invite when you start. You can gain more invites. So while listening in the room, since it's only audio, people tend to try to find other things to do, so they might randomly look at the profiles of the people on the stage or the people just listening. So again, make sure you add some keywords to your profile so that you can pique people's interests. So in my profile, I put where I'm from, I put my university, I put my sorority, I put where I've lived before, and some other random interests. And so somebody from Detroit could be like, oh, I want to follow her, or somebody who's a Zeta could want to follow me, or somebody who lived in South Korea or recognizes the Korean on my profile can want to follow me. So try to put as many keywords or like jobs or whatever as possible, so that if people are just randomly sitting in a room and they're bored and they're going through all the pictures and all the people in the room, they can check you out and be like, oh, they like sports cars, let me go follow them. Here are a couple tips for etiquette. One is make sure you don't cut people off. Some rooms are more serious about that than others, but it could be a huge no-no to like cut people off. Make sure you let people finish their sentence, finish their thought, and then you can go and talk next. I would highly advise doing a lot of listening first, not only to get the general culture of the app, but to get the general culture of specific moderators or specific groups. Not every group is the same, so you want to kind of do a lot of listening. Even if it's in the same call, you want to do some listening so that you can know what the culture of the group is, what they like and what they don't like. You can kind of see by people's behavior how that group or that moderator operates, so you don't offend anybody and so that you can just kind of get in where you fit in. Another thing is to try and keep in mind to say something of substance or maybe even something that's impressive, particularly when you're in the room with some of the big wigs. This app kind of creates a familiar atmosphere, so people are more willing to connect with you when they're talking to random people on the app. So yeah, don't try to just get what you want. That does work in some rooms, but just try to say something of substance and kind of pique people's interest, and then they might want to connect with you, or they might follow you in real time. I'm going to go over some vocabulary for the Clubhouse app. First, there's a room. This is where everyone is talking. It's like a voice chat room. The hallway is the main page when you open up your app, and you can see a bunch of rooms that are going on in real time. Next, there's the stage. This is in the individual rooms. There are moderators who will always be on the stage, and then there are people who may be part of the conversation, and only the people on the stage can speak. And then there's the audience, which when you first join a room and you're not the moderator, you will most likely be in the audience. And so all you have to do is in the lower right hand corner, you have to raise your hand, and then you can be invited to come onto the stage. And then moderators have the power to put you back into the audience. A couple things I've heard thus far, there's an acronym PTR that means pull to refresh. So that means you're gonna pull down on the room, and so you can so the room can refresh. People use that to change their avies to make a point. I know I was in one room where a guy was trying to make a point of how he grew up as a nerd, so he posted a side by side of what he looked like today and what he looked like back then to kind of drive home the point that he was a nerd. I've seen people talk about how there are some trolls and they use this certain Abby, so she changed that to her Abby to show people, okay, this is the picture that people use to troll. So sometimes people are making distinct points and they'll change their photo to kind of drive that home. So PTR means pull to refresh. There's also this term that I've heard used called reset the room. I'm not sure if there's a specific definition, but from what I've seen, it just means if a lot of people are boisterous, it's calming everybody down. It could be to reset the housekeeping, just reminding people what the purpose of the room is. It could be to make an announcement. Reset the room can also be used to change topics. I know that I've been in a room where a person, the moderator, actually wants to moderate and ask a new question to kind of stir up some new conversation. So they'll reset the room and then ask their question. If you know of any other reasons that people say reset the room, please put that in the comments. You can really use this app to be or become a subject matter expert, and you can use it to grow your network. If you decide to start a room, make sure that you're a good moderator. There are no nonverbal cues for how people can behave and who can talk next. And I've been in some rooms where, because the moderator wasn't directing the conversation, it either resulted in everybody talking over each other, or there'll be these awkward pauses where nobody's talking. And so make sure you're actively a moderator. You can create a system where you're actively telling people who can talk next. And so, yeah, if you decide to start a room, kind of think about how you're going to run the room and what the culture of your room is going to be. And you can kind of build a reputation as a moderator in what you will allow and will not allow. I believe if you start a room 3 separate times, you'll then be allowed to apply to start a group. So if you want to create an voice actors group, you can start a voice actors room. I don't think it always has to be that topic, but after you do 3 rooms, you'll be able to apply to start a group, and then you'll be able to go through that approval process. I don't know what that approval process is like. I don't know how long it takes, but I think that's the rules around that. So this is your homepage for Clubhouse. This is called the Hall. At the top, it has times for any scheduled rooms that I'm for people or groups that I might be following. And then if I scroll down, these are all the active rooms for right now. If I go to the bottom right, I can see any active people and start a room with them. If I go in the upper right and click my profile, you can see my photo, my name, my username, my followers, and how many I'm following. And then this is my bio, and then I have it so that I can, so people can add me on Twitter or Instagram. Then at the bottom, I'm a member of these groups. If I click the settings, you can kind of change the frequency of when you get notifications. You can include or exclude trending rooms. You can pause notifications and then all this other stuff. X out of that. If I go back, I go to the notification bell and I can see all my activity of people who have followed me or people who have started rooms. If I go to the calendar, I can see upcoming scheduled rooms, and this might be stuff that I follow. Not all of it is though. And then you can see all upcoming to see just all the rooms that are scheduled, and then you can see your events if you created an event or created a room for the future. If I go to the mail, I can see that I have 2 invites, and then I can search for people to invite to the platform. And then if I click the plus sign in the upper left, I can find people to follow. I can also type in keywords and see what people have in their profile, and I can look for them to follow. And then at the bottom it says you can start a room. Be careful in doing that, and if you're in a group, it'll start a room in the group, and if you're not the moderator, that can kind of get sketchy. But this is how Clubhouse looks. So some random facts. I have heard about people getting money for their businesses on the app, whether that's through an investor or through a person just asking, what is your Cash App, and Cash Apping the person $500. I've heard about that. I've also heard about people being signed music deals. So the possibilities are endless for this app as long as you find the right people to follow and the right groups to follow. A warning is that it can be quite addictive, particularly if you find the right rooms to be in, the right people to follow, the right topics to follow, because it can be hours upon hours of great information. Luckily, I use it on my iPad, and I'm not really used to paying attention to my iPad all that much, so I'm not always on there. But if you have it on your phone, you could possibly be in there all day, every day. Basically, Clubhouse is like any other app. You get out what you put in. If you use it strategically, you can get a lot out of it. If you have any more vocabulary, norms, tips, or information to share about Clubhouse that I missed, please put it down below. And I want you to like so I know it's real, comment and tell me how you feel, subscribe to Seal the Deal, and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.